Let's take a look now at the updated Zacks fair value estimates for this month. And for that, we call in our chief equity strategist and economist, John Blank. John, entering 2026, share returns were pretty much excellent for an unusual 3 years in a row, in fact. And then at the beginning of April, the indexes headed south. They fought their way back lately. I believe we're in record territory now with some of the indexes. What's behind these broad swings?
Well, Terry, it's actually earnings. I mean, I'm talking on the 16th of April, and I'm seeing the S&P 500 at 7,030. And my fair value, interestingly enough, which again, Terry, we're only 8 months away from the end of the year. So the end of the year fair value right now is 7,064, which is basically a 0.5% from where we are now. So the real key insight in this particular podcast is that right now is the fair value for the S&P 500 for the year end in April, which is meaning we may just, well, trend sideways around fair value for the rest of this year.
So, given all the recent volatility, do you see and the current fair value? Do you see the current U.S. share market as cheap right now, or not?
I think it's fair value, Terry. That's basically it. And I think it's fair value with a VIX at 19, which is not real high, but is higher than the 12 that we've seen. So there's a lot of volatility, a movement that's going to happen around that fair value if this is the combination, particularly through the ceasefire period and of the Strait of Hormuz.
All right. So you said 7,064 fair value on the S&P 500 for this year. What about 2027?
2027, Terry, I'm looking at almost a clean 8,000 for 1,000 points, a little no, 930 points for next year. So if you can look through this year, which may be a sideways trading year, you and the earnings hold up, Terry, which we have to see. But 8,000 by the end of 2027.
So is now a good entry point for stock investors? Are there bargains out there that they should consider?
I think the answer was, 12 trading days ago, absolutely. But after a big run up of 11% in 12 trading days, the answer is no, Terry. We're at fair value, and I don't think there's a lot of bargains out there.
How might this Iran conflict change this picture for you?
Terry, it can, if we get a huge movement upward in oil prices and then we get a long period where the straits are shut, so it starts to affect downstream plastics and other products that are made out of petroleum, petrochemical type things. It can be dramatic what the estimate revisions collapse to. And it does need to be reminded that any recession that I've seen over the last 50 years has always come with an oil price shock. And this is a historically high one if we have it. So it's actually true, Terry, that the fair value will plummet if there is a renewal of conflict for multiple months in this circumstance.
Do you see a global stock market correction on the horizon?
That would come with it, Terry. I don't think there will be a place to hide if we do have that recession, because it will be a global recession centered in Asia and ripple outward. I would think more like the 98 crisis is the analogy now versus the 73 Arab oil embargo.
All right, three large cap Zacks number one strong buy picks you've identified recently as moving stock markets include Woodward Incorporated, ASICS Corporation, there's our ADRs, I believe, and Credo Technology Group.
Yeah, Woodward is an independent designer, manufacturer, and service provider of energy control and optimization solutions. It does a lot of work with the aircraft turbine systems and airframe systems. So, Terry, this is a stock that has just been accelerating since 2023. It was $100 a share back in 2023. It's $390 now. We've got a target price of $447. So, it's run up a long ways, but people are still looking for another 10% from here.
And then ASICS Corp.
ASICS Corp is actual tennis shoes, Terry. They're made, I think, in Japan, and they're sold everywhere. They're come out of ASICS Corporation. Is based in Kobe, Japan. And I've got a price earnings ratio of 26, which is pretty rich for a Japanese share price. But they're in the right business. Leisure and hospitality is a top 12% industry for us. But on this one, value score of F or growth score of A, I think everybody's bought this story, and I'd stay away from it. Credo Technology Group has been being shorted down, Terry. It was almost $190 a share back in late, October 2025. It's been coming down, 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 down. I'm looking at $170 a share, but it was like $100 a share a couple of weeks ago. So this one is super high beta, 2.7 high beta, and it's moving up. So if you're looking for some kind of short-term, very short-term trade that has a lot of upside, Credo Technologies in that hot AI space, and it is a high-performance serial connectivity solution for hyperscale data centers, and that is exactly what everybody's playing. So if you want a high-frequency trade, and over the next few weeks, not few months, but few weeks, take a look at Credo.
Our chief equity strategist and economist John Blank on fair value for stocks. With John, I'm Terry Ruffalo.
This material is being provided for informational purposes only, and nothing herein constitutes investment, legal, accounting, or tax advice, or a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold a security. Do not act or rely upon the information and advice given in this podcast without seeking the services of competent and professional legal, tax, or accounting counsel. Publication and distribution of this podcast is not intended to create, and the information contained herein does not constitute an attorney-client relationship. No recommendation or advice is being given as to whether any investment or strategy is suitable for a particular investor. It should not be assumed that any investments in securities, companies, sectors, or markets identified and described were or will be profitable. All information is current as of the date herein and is subject to change without notice. Any views or opinions expressed may not reflect those of Zacks Investment Research as a whole.